Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed, like your mind is stuck in overdrive? What if the answer to resetting was as simple as stepping outside?
Ooh, I love the sound of that. And let's chat about it today on the Wandering But Not Lost podcast. Welcome to Wandering But Not Lost, your online source for finding balance so that you can align, connect, and prosper. And now your hosts, Jen O'Brien and Matt Emerson. Well, welcome everyone to the Wandering But Not Lost podcast, where we explore the intersection of movement, mindset, and mindfulness. In this episode, we're diving into how nature can help you reset your mind, refocus your energy, and I'm getting the chills I'm talking about that. That's kind of exciting. And reconnect with what truly matters in your life. You can find even more of this information over on our show notes over at WBNLpodcast.com. This has been episode 441. Or this is going to be episode 441. Before we go there...
We're already done with it, eh?
Yeah. In my mind, we're already done. A couple things I want to chat about before we dive in today. One, if you have not gone and downloaded our 30-day digital detox challenge, go over to wanderingbunnotlost.com, go to our downloads menu item and download that checklist today. I started it just a few days ago on Monday. I'm in day 5 today of the detox, and I have to tell you that I'm pretty good with my phone anyway, but really focusing on one particular thing throughout a day, and not doing it or doing it in a different way, it's kind of awakened me just a little bit, and some things I have been wanting to do, I am starting to do. For example, we don't have an alarm clock. Who does anymore, right? So the phone is kind of the alarm clock, and I have to get up in the middle of the night to do something. So, but when I get back from that middle of the night chore, I've been putting my phone in the other room, so I don't have to worry about the rest of my sleep time, or I don't have that phone sitting there for me to grab, which has been really nice. So that was one of the things I did back on day 2, but I've continued it now into day 5, and it's just very possible that might be my new pattern going forward. So just in a couple days, I've already reprogrammed one of my activities to have less screen time.
That's a great way to say it. It's a detox reprogramming, because there's been a thing in your brain. Like if I'm thinking about, can I do that? Could I go set it up? Because I don't have any other clocks in the house, not like next to my bedside table. But if I put my phone outside, I think for me, when you were saying that, a little anxiety came up about, like, what if somebody tries to call me, or what if there's an emergency? I mean, is that why we have our phone next to us?
No.
Why though? Why do we have it?
I think it's because we're just used to having it there, and we grab our phones a lot, like we've already talked about.
We wake
over
up
100 times a day.
night. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Here's the thing that gets me around that a little bit. I still have my watch on.
So
if something horrible happens, I mean, here's the thing: you got to do what's going to make you feel comfortable, right? I'm able to do this, and going back to bed has been easier for me. So anyway, we can talk about that forever. The point is, if you are interested in maybe looking into how you can maybe get a little less screen time, go over and get that download, because it really is quite a game changer, or it has been.
I have been doing mine. You'll see I have some check marks.
Excellent.
Ones. I'm not doing them in order like you are, but I have done like 5 of them, because a couple I had already done, I was doing. So I'm a little ahead of it.
Yeah, and my wife's doing them too, which has been really awesome as well. She's doing them like you. She's not doing it down the same path as I am. Although today we're going to do the same one. I think the 5th thing on that list is have a meal screen free. Yep. We're pretty good about doing that, but today we decided when we have our dinner tonight, we're actually going to put our phones in the other room.
Okay.
And that's just the way it's going to be. So it's kind of fun. That's the way a challenge should be. If it's a chore, you're going to do 3 days, you're not going to do it anymore. So go check that out. That's really good. And then also, while we're at it, if you'd like to get on our mailing list and get mindful thoughts, and we don't overflood you with emails. You'll get 1 or 2 a week with just some things that can help you get back into the zone and help you get clarity on things. Go over to Wandering But Not Lost. Right on that very first home screen, you can join our community of wanderers. So go ahead and do that and check that out. All right. So let's get into this topic for today, because I know Jan and I are both excited about it. Yes. When I hear the word nature, it almost immediately makes me calm down. Right? Yeah, exactly. It does exactly that. It's like, whoo, my mind starts serving up images of spectacular vistas and panoramas. Jan and I have talked about this for years. The national parks are kind of a part of me anyway, and I know Jan loves them as well, and it just all gets me there. Now, for my sweet pea, my wife and I, national parks have been part of our story ever since our childhoods, and this is one of the things that kind of that brought us together originally, just talking about that. And over the past 34 years since we've been married, hiking and wandering through the wild, beautiful places that we've gone to has really brought us clarity. It's brought us closer together. Of course, we've had so many, unforgettable memories that have come up through all that as well. So today we'll explore the science behind the healing power of nature. Shannon and I are going to share some personal stories and offer some simple ways that you can create your own reset. And it doesn't necessarily have to be getting out a million miles away from your house. You can do it right where you are. Just wherever you are, you can do that. So let me just kind of backtrack just a little bit. And some of my earliest memories of in my life are my family going on road trips. We went on road trips almost every summer, and we always, we usually had a destination. A lot of times it was just going back to visit family wherever they were across the country. But my mom and dad were very intentional about always doing the route, or always making sure we went through national parks on those road trips. So Yellowstone, the Rocky Mountains, the Grand Canyon, of course. And I can still hear the crunch of pine needles under my foot. I can hear literally back in the day where you could get the bottle top of the Coke coming off the Coke bottle in the gas station. Those awesome memories of just like, life is good, or can it get any better than this? And looking up into trees that seem to touch the sky. That sense of wonder really has never left me throughout my entire life, and I really appreciate so much that I had the opportunity to do that, and I've been able to find a life partner that also enjoys doing that as well, because it's a big part of who I am. And it only has grown stronger, as, Laura and I got together and started doing this is more, and not only just doing all the hiking and all of that exploration, but also enjoying the national park lodges and the architecture of all of that. The history. The history of all what's there. It's been crazy. But nature hasn't just been a place for us to visit. It's been a place for us to go and reset. That's what it's all about. A way to breathe differently, a way to come back to center and get life, all that busyness and overwhelmingness of life kind of under control. That's what the national parks have always done for me. And it's not just national parks. Like I said, it's just getting up and about. So Jan, what's your take on that whole thing of getting back to nature? How do you feel about that?
Honestly, you made me think about childhood memories too, because we would always, our generally go-to place was to go to Florida once a year in the family. In the old paneled station wagon. I'm having a visual of that right now. No matter what was happening in our family, and we didn't really always have a lot of extra money, but our parents would always find a way, and we would go mostly to Panama City area, the panhandle of Florida. But it was a thing, and we lived in Georgia, and we did, getting to see the water, the ocean, And honestly, the national park stuff for me, I've done it living in Vegas, all Utah places. But you and Laura really introduced me to the beauty of like Yosemite and Sequoia, which are my two favorites so far. But my go-to place is Sedona, Arizona. And I've lived out here in Vegas all these years with some, go back. I've tried to leave Vegas like 3 times and always come back.
That's true.
Throughout those years, 1 to 2 times a year, Sedona is a place where I can get completely reset. And it's only a 4.5 hour drive. I could drive to go see Matt in about 4.5 hours. And I like to do that and go to the ocean and see that. But if I had my first choice, it's got to be a Sedona trip. Because it's my place. That I completely feel disconnected and reset, and I love the hiking. I just love the rocks and just the energy of Sedona. It's a beautiful, it's a mystical, magical place.
Yeah, no kidding. What's so wonderful about being in that kind of proximity of places that you can go and really that become your Mecca, the place that you want to go to really find yourself. It's pretty wonderful. There's not too many places in anywhere you are that there's not something that is just a few
a day's drive,
from where you are, or even a day's drive. I mean, we're so lucky here in California because there's so many national parks in California. But Sequoia and Yosemite are both 5-6 hours away, and that for if you're not a road tripper, that might seem like a long way, but it really isn't, especially when the destination is as wonderful as it is. So here's the question: so why does going outside actually work so well? So let's break it down with a little bit of science, shall we?
Science. All right, Mr. Science.
Yeah, because the science is clear on it. It really is. Spending time in nature lowers your cortisol levels. That's your stress hormones. So it literally does that. And it boosts your serotonin and your dopamine, the chemicals that tie to happiness and relaxation. So you got all that stuff chemically going on in your body. So, it improves your focus, it lowers your blood pressure, and it even helps you sleep better, because when all those things are tick-tocking around in your body and you just have you're not so frantic, you're going to be able to turn it off at night, and you're be able to sleep more calmly throughout the evening. So I'm telling you, everything about being in nature is a good thing. So there's also a psych concept called soft fascination. Have you ever heard of this, Jan?
No.
I love this.
I'm fascinated to know what it is.
You're softly fascinated. It explains why our mind feels less exhausted in natural environments. So unlike city life, full of screens and demand and attention and focus, blah, 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 soft fascination actually allows us a space that gently holds our interest. So it's not like bam, 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 bam. It's like a calm thing, but it's still there attracting you and keeping you, your attention. So it's a different kind of focus that you have when you're in nature, because it is calmer, it is quieter, the air is fresher. It's like all the things that you don't necessarily have in that hustle bustle part of your life. It's a whole different environment, and your body absolutely resonates with it. It's kind of
completely makes sense.
It does. So what it really does, it gives your brain a chance to reset, because you're not just go, 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 go. I think that's fascinating. And here's the best part about this whole thing is you don't need to have that week-long backpacking trip to feel the benefits of this. You just don't. And you don't have to go on 4-hour drive to get somewhere. All you really need to do is just 20 minutes outside. 20 minutes outside can make a difference in the whole shebang. So anybody can do this, no matter where you are and what you're doing and where you are in your life. So don't think you have to run out to visit a national park, because that is definitely not the case. We're going to give you some more examples.
Do you think that besides the things you were just saying, it's also getting out in the sun, the picking up that energy that's coming from the sun, but you're also just in that, because you're so right. The way cities and stuff are built and so forth, it kind of blocks all that.
Yeah.
When you think about it. Of course. Especially the concrete jungle concept, right? It's blocking the natural stuff that's around us. So getting out in nature just for 20 minutes can make all the difference.
And you know what's interesting? That's a really good point, Jan, because I used to think when we for about 10 or 12 years were going to New York every year and would spend New York City, talk about a concrete jungle, right? Yeah. And we'd stay for a week at a time. And what is so amazing about New York City and why that city is what it is, has been all these years, is that it was designed in a way that even though there's 12 million people there are some beautiful outdoor spaces that have been
Central Park, obviously, right in the middle.
Obviously Central Park, but even throughout the city, there's a lot of small little squares and parks that do exactly the same thing. So it's not quiet, it's still noisy, but you have trees and you have plants. It's amazing, and most cities have something like that too. So just, if you are in a big city, doesn't mean you can't just enjoy some nature too, because it doesn't take much to have that. That's a really good point, because it's a whole different thing being in where there's so much noise. I think the quiet has a lot to do about that, right? So let's talk a little bit about movement, because that's really a big part of it too. So it's you can go and sit somewhere and have a lovely, quiet, calming time, but the movement is very important too, because when we move our bodies in nature, whether it's hiking, walking, or just, stretching. Because that's a cool thing to do. You just go out and do some stretches. When you're doing that, what you're really doing is you're really supercharging that reset. So you've calmed down because you've been kind of calm and enjoying nature. But when you get out there and start moving it, and now you're like, wow. So now I'm experiencing all these other things while I'm also taking getting my body out and get my body moving. Our breath actually can deepen when you're doing that. Our thoughts really continue to slow down, and clarity rises to the surface. There is nothing better than a hike or a walk when you're just kind of outside of that hustle and bustle. So, and some of my best ideas always happen when I'm walking. I mean, that's really just
together as well.
I know, exactly, because that's what we do. And it's no accident, because movement creates momentum, and momentum is what it's all about. It moves you forward. It gets you to that next place. It gets you over the hump. It gets you unstuck. It does all the things that you need to do. Movement is always the answer for me, anyway. So it's not just physically, but mentally, and it gets you emotionally moving too. So it's the whole package, if you want my opinion on that whole thing. So I just want to talk about some of my favorite places to reset. And Jan, we were talking about just a minute ago as far as Jan and Sedona for her. But there's so many places that we go to again and again and again. And it's not just because we want to go to see the sights or hike a trail or whatever. It's really about going back once again to get centered and to get some more clarity. It's like going back. I keep using the word Mecca because it really feels like that to me. There's places you just want to go to just get that reset. And Yosemite really is that place for us. It has been for Laura and I since we were married. And when I think of that place, there is just nothing better than Yosemite at sunrise, watching that first light hit El Capitan in the morning. And then on the other side of the day, to watch that sunset and that alpenglow hit Half Dome at night. And sometimes the way the sun hits Half Dome, it's almost like it's a spotlight on that one cliff. It is absolutely amazing. And it brings me to a place. I mean, it's hard to describe. It is hard to describe to me, to describe how it makes me feel to see those images. Anyway, so that's
live and in person, and the waterfall. When you just describing that, I was thinking about the waterfall when we stayed at the lodge.
Yeah,
and how amazing that was.
That's right. Remember, we were sitting out on the balcony of your room, just all sitting there. And Yosemite Falls is it's incredible. So those memories are are fantastic. When you're doing it live, it's a whole nother experience. Or the stillness of the Sentinel Campground in Kings Canyon. In Cedar Grove. We have some friends that have been going down there for over 50 years to camp alongside the Kings River. And it's a wonderful campground. It's a beautiful, some of those campsites are just absolutely amazing. They're huge, for one thing, which is unusual. But it's right along the Kings River. And the Kings River is a really powerful, rugged river in the spring. And then, it gets to be more of a quiet, less flowing river as the summer goes on. But it is unbelievable, and the sound of the river as they're rushing by. Once you're there, when you're there, it completely detoxes you. But if you have that memory, you can sometimes just sit back and just go, take me back there again, so I can listen to that again. And then one of our other favorite places, and this really is probably, it's hard to pick what your favorite thing is, but going to Sequoia and being around those Sequoia trees and touching the bark of those trees, and to look up at these trees that are the largest things on the planet and that have been around for thousands of years, the stories that those trees can tell, the things that those trees have been around, for, they were there long before the United States of America were there, or has been here. I mean, we're talking thousands of years before that. It's just, It's an amazing thing. And it was so awesome to actually expose Jan to those for the first time.
That's a hard thing. If somebody said you got to pick between the two, because you can only go to one this year, it'd probably be Sequoia, because it was a spiritual experience for me, because I love trees. I'm like connected to trees, and I'd never seen trees that big, and just going on the hikes where we just, it was amazing, just absolutely amazing. And it was life-changing, really, because I still can see them and just memories of it. So,
and all these national parks, the purpose of these national parks was to preserve these kind of areas for the future of, of the world. And Sequoia is unbelievable because those Sequoia trees are nowhere else. That's the only place they are. I mean, in the Sierras, there's a grove in Yosemite as well. But all of the national parks are the same way. The Redwood National Park, the Grand Canyon, for crying out loud.
There's something about them all, right?
Yeah, there's something about it that is unique, and that's why they are what they are. But it's fantastic, and like I said, I've been so fortunate, and it's fortunate to be able to travel to these two, but to the parks, but also it has been intentional on our part to make that a part of what we were doing on vacation for so many years. Right.
It was like you integrated into your trips.
That's right,
just like you did when you were young, both of you.
Yeah, and that's what was so cool, and that's what has been the interlocking thing in our lives the whole time, from all of our entire lives, and then we're able to share that same thing together, which is pretty fantastic. And it's fun to go to places that we had both been before, but had never been together, and then talk about those experiences, what it was like when we were a kid too. So that's pretty cool. It is the national parks are a big part. So we talked about all that. It's very obvious that nature is a place you need to get out to recharge and reset. All right,
how much we love it.
Yeah, clearly we like it. So, but let's make this actionable for you. Let's make this actionable for everybody. So here's 3 simple ways you can create your own nature reset, even in the middle of a very busy week or a very busy street or a very busy city. You can do all these things really easy. The first one is the 5-minute rule. I don't know if you ever follow us on YouTube or TikTok or any social media. We have a lot of rules. There's a lot of rules you can follow.
And a lot of little habits.
There's a lot of little habits that take 5 minutes or 2 minutes. But the thing is, the simpler it is, the easier it's going to be. So here's the 5-minute rule. Just step outside. And I dare you to do this today. Just even if you're not even feeling stuck, go do this today. Step outside, breathe deeply, and just observe. Just observe. Just 5 minutes can shift your entire mindset. It really can, because it's getting you out of what you're doing. It's getting you focused on something else. And when you come back, you're going to see everything you're doing in a whole new light. So take that 5 minute for the 5-minute rule. Here's another rule for you. It's the 20/3 rule. The 23 rule, not 23, the 23 rule. So aim for 20 minutes outdoors this time, but do it 3 times a week. 20 minutes outside 3 times a week. That's all it takes to feel the benefits. So just put that into your routine.
Love it.
So the 23. This last one.
Do I have another rule?
This last one has nothing to do with minutes or rules. This is just make it a routine. Just make it a part of your routine. Like, for example, if you get up in the morning and you're a coffee drinking, you're drinking your coffee and doing whatever you do, change it up a little bit. Drink your coffee on the porch. Drink your coffee in your backyard. Drink your coffee outside. Or take your coffee mug and do a little jaunt around your yard, or walk outside with your coffee mug and just, so the thing is, it's about your coffee, because that's your routine. Yes. You're just switching it up a little bit by, having that in a different location. Change your environment, right? If you are in offices, Jan and I talk about this a lot. Take a walking meeting. Instead of doing your meeting in the conference room, take a walking meeting on that. Or, go eat your lunch outside, or if you're at work, go to a park. There's probably some place near where you are working that you can actually get out of the building and go do something outside. It does all the things we've been talking about today. Jan mentioned the sunlight. It's been kind of cloudy and overcast here for a while, and spring has sprung, and it seems like the sun has decided it wants to be out all the time. When I've been walking the last couple of days, just feeling the warmth on your skin, it is wonderful. It's a wonderful.
Even if it's cloudy, the sun's getting through to you and giving you that.
It's still there too, but to feel that warmth has been very cool.
And how about the blooms that are starting to come through?
Oh,
that's the part I love right now, because we are hardly worth mentioning. Just past the spring equinox.
It's the equinox.
The equinox, people. Take advantage of it. We're giving you some powerful, easy ways to reset yourself through just these simple little
That's right. So make it a routine, because if you start doing that, it will become natural for you to actually get outside, and then the benefits will happen. The benefits will start happening, and you won't even realize it's happening anymore. But it's going to be something that's going to really change the way your body actually functions throughout the day. So here's what's so beautiful about nature. It doesn't really ask anything of us. Nature asks nothing of us. It simply offers to us. It just offers. It offers us peace. It offers us clarity, and it offers us a chance to reset. So all we have to do is stop, think about that for a second, step outside, and then take it in. Just appreciate it. Just thank you, nature. Thank you, nature, for offering that.
Drop and roll in nature.
There you go. There's another one.
Go touch a tree.
Yeah.
It is.
So here's our encouragement for you today. Find your reset, whether it's a national park, a hidden trail, a city garden, or even in your own backyard. You just need to get out there, breathe, listen, and wander. Just wander. And then, you could also wander and forever, but not be lost. There's a lot of things you can do there on that. So anyway, here's the thing. We want to hear from you on this, people. Please engage. What's your favorite place to reset in nature? Just drop us a comment, send us a message, or tag us in a photo on next time you're on a walk or wander. I would love to see pictures of you out there wandering and getting your reset. So let's inspire each other. Let's work together here. It takes a village, and we can reconnect with the world around us. It is a beautiful thing. So once again, like I had said earlier today, you can find all the show notes for this episode over at WBNLpodcast.com. This was episode 441. And if you are looking for some more inspiration on how you can get out there and wander, we have a ton of different ideas and stories over on wanderingbutnotlost.com. When you get to the website, just scroll to the bottom, and there's probably 100 blog posts on there of different places you can go see and do, and things that can get you inspired to get out and wander as well. So that's
and more coming.
Yeah, a lot more coming. And then don't forget to join us next time. We're diving into something really powerful. It's the art of manifestation, Jen O'Brien, how you can align with your highest timeline. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to say you need to tune in, because it's going to give you a little roadmap of what manifestation's all about and just things I've been working on. And so I'm just going to tease you, just come back, catch it next week. Art of manifestation.
Good deal. Anyway, until then, keep wandering, stay grounded, please, and embrace the clarity and everything that nature offers for you. So we'll see you next time. That's
beautiful. Good stuff, man. You don't have to go anywhere. You can just get outside. I love it.
Get the hell outside.